Hi team, thanks a lot for joining this Facebook marketing webinar. I know you guys kind of clicked through probably on one of our Facebook lead ads and are kind of expecting a webinar based on audience growth, so that's exactly what I'm going to give you. Just to give you a bit of background, my name is Rukmal De Silva. I'm Managing Director of the Plus Ones. We're a digital agency that works with clients primarily on their Facebook strategy and kind of clients ranging from the big kind of billion-dollar retailers with global footprints, right through to small business owners and frankly everyone in between. Basically, if people are selling things online, we're probably working with them in some capacity. The stuff I really wanted to talk to you about today is, as mentioned, really about this kind of first bit here, audiences and audiences on Facebook. And what we've realized after kind of several years of doing this sort of Facebook marketing is that this is kind of the key to success. And there's a few reasons for that. So I'll flip down here. So there's a whole range of stuff that we do. This is really what I'm going to talk to you about. I'll try and keep it fairly short, 10 to 15 minutes. And then hopefully open it up to questions from you guys. So let's get started. On Facebook, basically, there's 5 ways that you can look to grow audiences. Email, website, video, engagement, and then just your normal followers. What we find is that most people tend to focus a lot on their followers, so people that like their page. For me, this is the most basic form of audience on Facebook, and we tend to avoid it, or if we do use it, we kind of use different ad sets or different campaigns to target them with. Email is a big one, and if you're like any of our clients, what we've found is that email open rates have dropped off substantially in the last 3 to 4 years. These days, you're pretty lucky if you're getting 30% of people opening up an email once it's at a certain size. So I'm talking email lists of between 10,000, 20,000 plus. And from that open rate, you're lucky if you're getting 5% of people actually clicking through on the material you provide them with. So email lists on Facebook have become insanely important. Basically, the reason is you can proactively reach your audience via Facebook rather than sending them an email, which most likely goes to the promotions tab if they're using Gmail, or more likely than not straight to spam. What we find is that if someone doesn't click on an email 3 to 4 times, Gmail and other email providers then start sending that email directly to spam. So the drop-off in email rates isn't because you're not writing great content. It isn't because you're not writing, engaging stuff with different subject lines that you've no doubt A/B tested and optimized and tried to do everything with. It's just that people literally aren't seeing those emails. So with the Facebook system, what you can do is you can actually just upload those directly onto the platform. And from there, you can actually proactively target them. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people ask, or a lot of people kind of chat to me after this and kind of say, so should we ignore emails completely? And the answer is definitely not. Once you have people's email addresses, you have an incredibly valuable digital asset that you can use forever. The issue here is more one of discovery and being able to proactively reach people. So on the Facebook platform, I wasn't actually going to show you the kind of steps involved with this sort of stuff. If you want to learn, all of this is infinitely Googleable. Just type into Google how to upload emails into Facebook and you'll see it. What I'm kind of trying to demonstrate here is more the value of doing this sort of stuff. Facebook lead ads are a phenomenal way of capturing emails. They pre-fill forms. You can connect them to your CRM client, provided it has an integration, something like MailChimp, for example, and then just add them to the kind of your automated workflow of your general email marketing program. So what we do a lot of on the Facebook platform is we target people that visit your website, but aren't on your email list. So kind of, include people that are going there often, but for some reason they haven't actually signed up to your email list. This is a great way of just kind of arbitraging your website traffic, and basically selecting people that are familiar with you, know your brand, and have fairly easy acquisitions to get onto that email list. the easiest thing to do by far is to run some sort of promotion on Facebook. So, here you kind of have win a $500 Christmas gift card. So that's your first audience type on Facebook. The second one that I wanted to talk to you about is your website traffic. So to basically gain access to this audience type, you need to make sure that your Facebook pixel is installed. If you're not sure what a Facebook pixel is, again, just jump onto Google and Google it. It's a very simple installation process. And basically once you have that installed, you can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. What the Facebook pixel does is it enables you to capture the data of people that visit your website and target them on the Facebook system, provided that they're logged in to Facebook. When they do that, they can be logged in on their mobile, their iPad, whatever it may be, any platform. Just as long as they're logged in and they visit your website, you'll be able to actually capture that data point. Now you can basically do all sorts of things to target them. You can split your audience up into quintiles. So you can say, hey, look, I want to target the top 5% of people who visit my website. So these are the people, these are kind of the people that really love you guys or love your brand and visit the site as often as possible. Obviously, if you're running a very targeted and kind of short duration promotion that you're looking to convert sales to very quickly, this audience is kind of your golden target list of people to go to. So the way I think of these website retargeting audiences is as a secondary database. In some ways, personally, I think they're more important than an email list, mainly because of that time factor. With any marketing program, being relevant and being timely are the two key or the two most important things that you can possibly do. And by using the Facebook pixel on your site, you can be relevant and timely. So, I mean, you can kind of see here it's set to the last 30 days. You can set that to the last day, you can set the last week, whatever period you want. The maximum is 180 days. Obviously, if you're stretching to people beyond 180 days, the timeliness factor is becoming less and less. So we tend to favor the last month. People that visited your site, a few times in the last month, that's a great audience to target in terms of actually getting sales and conversions across on your brand. The third type of audience I was going to talk to you about is the video retargeting audience. This has become insanely important on the Facebook platform. The main reason is because Facebook prioritizes video. It lets you get video out to tens of thousands of people at a very, very low cost point. So the more video you use, the better it is. More importantly than that, you can then target people that watch a certain percentage of your video. So if you have a 1 minute long video and someone watches 50% of that, chances are they're pretty interested in the messaging you're providing. So it's super important to try and use video wherever possible. There's tons of tools that let you create free and fairly professional looking videos or animations online. If you haven't got some content for this for your brand, I'd highly recommend getting that for you. The other cool thing about video is that you tend to reach different audiences. So you can kind of see here that with the website traffic kind of sitting there and the videos, the overlap between those audiences is actually kind of tiny, which, considering it's the same brand, is super interesting. So what we find a lot of on the Facebook platform is that people actually engage by different touch points, and that all of your audiences tend to be kind of separated. So you're actually reaching and accessing different people within those audiences. The fourth type of audience that I was going to talk to you about is a fairly new one from Facebook. It basically enables you to target people that like, comment, or share your posts. You can set that time period, again, similar to the website traffic, to the duration that you actually want. So you can create different types of audiences. So say you've been doing something for a week that's focused on a particular promotion, you can target anyone that's like, commented, or shared that sort of stuff over that week. The reason this audience is so valuable and you can make a ton of money out of this audience is because this sort of stuff is word of mouth advertising. These people are literally proactively sharing and highlighting this or your messaging to their friends. So it's kind of as good as it gets, and it's an audience that we rely on and use quite a lot. So when we kind of bunch, I know the fifth type of audience is the the likes, but frankly, most people know about that stuff, and you can just target them in separate ad sets as well. So when you have these 4 audiences together, we call this your core audience. And this is basically the audience that we build over time, or that you should be building over time for yourself, to try and basically create a core audience that you can constantly target of people that are engaged and interested in your messaging and your brand on an ongoing basis. So once you build these kind of core audiences, you can get insane results on the Facebook platform. I'll show you one ad set that we have. So this client is they kind of run or they have content on classes, and they sell fairly, I guess, low ticket items. So it's kind of between the $50 and $150 mark. And you can see that on a monthly basis up here, they spend around $2,500, $2,400 on the platform, and then they have sales in the order of $20,000. So these returns are several hundred%. I mean, that's kind of an 800% return. And the only reason that we can obtain or generate results for them that are this strong is because of the audiences that we created. So this sort of stuff, it doesn't happen overnight. And that's kind of what people always want. They want the magic bullet. They want results instantly. To get results like this takes a few months to build up at the very least. And the reason for that is because you're building those audiences. So those 4 audiences that I talked about, that is absolutely the key to any success on the Facebook platform. So hopefully that gives you a bit of insight into what you can do on the Facebook platform, and how you can go about building these audiences. If you manage to build these to levels that are fairly substantial, so kind of in the tens of thousands of people, wherever you're selling to, you will be on a pretty good track to generate amazing results from the Facebook platform. So as I said, we obviously do this sort of stuff for clients across the world. If you have any questions on this, we'd be more than happy to chat to you. Feel free to email contact@theplusones.com. So that's contact@theplusones.com. And someone hopefully from the team will be able to get back to you fairly shortly. Cool. Thanks, guys.